89.9 The Light, Lucy and Kel. Now, look, a couple of months ago, we had a hugely successful Help Me, I'm a High School Parent event. It was so good. And we had one of the most incredible speakers, one of the most booked speakers in Australia, Michelle Mitchell. I fell in love with her. She is brilliant. Everyone fell in love with her. And for some of us, though, we don't have high schoolers. I don't. And many of you don't. We have something in between called tweens. And so this week, I thought we could do our own version of Help Me, I'm a High School Parent, but it's probably going to be called Help Me, I have a tween and they're changing, and where did my baby go, and who is this grunting child, and can I give it back? And so to join us, I thought we need to have Michelle Mitchell come back because she is the font of all knowledge. Good morning, Michelle.
Oh, Lucy and Kel, I love this. I am all in. Let's do this. I love 8 to 12-year-olds and their parents are in a mild panic because they know what's ahead of them.
Yeah, and it's one day you've got like a cute kid and then bang, one day you look at them and you're like, what is this? And then you realize, oh my gosh, it's time for the big conversations and I wasn't even ready for this, and here it is, it's on my lap. And you have just released a new book for 8 to 12-year-olds, which is incredible, titled Where Do Babies Come From? And you've actually got two other successful books, A Girl's Guide to Puberty and A Guy's Guide to Puberty. They've sold over 120,000 copies. So I thought this week, each day this week, we can unpack something around that. So I thought today we can start, let's just get straight into it with where do babies come from? I want to know. No, actually, I do know, obviously. But Michelle, why is it crucial to start having these conversations so early?
Research backs us up with this. Early and often is so important. And sometimes we look at a little 8-year-old and think, oh no, they are just way too young. But if we want them to be really well prepared for the high school years, we have to start now. Yeah. So they're much more likely to make wiser choices when they hit high school if they're well informed. It makes the transition through puberty easier. Yeah. So that means it boosts their resilience and they're able to adapt, which is really important. And when I see kids face puberty just with so much fear and just a lack of confidence, that matters to me. And let's protect them too from, online predators and abuse in real life. So all of those things.
Back in the dinosaur age when I went to primary school, and I know when some of my older kids went to primary school, there's a lot of information that gets shared around the playground. And it used to be that it was the kids with older brothers and sisters had the most information. Not the most accurate information, but the most information. I'm wondering now, with the terrifying access to social media that a lot of kids have, how early are we looking at in these sorts of conversations?
I think parents have got to realise they're actually communicating to their kids all the time. From the moment their kids are like born and we're bathing them, we're talking about body parts. Yeah. We're communicating and teaching our kids all the time. But as a teacher, I know there's a moment where their cognitive development changes. And that means they're understanding things from a different perspective. Their perspective taking on a different level. That means they're able to put themselves in somebody else's shoes and their sexual development is changing. And I call that moment an information update. And as parents, I think what we tend to see that as is this is the big transition chat. And I like to say to parents, don't think of it as a chat. It's now like this array of chats because we're talking to kids so much more than about the birds and the bees. Yes. This is sexuality just encompasses online safety, their comfortableness with their body, so many other chats that go along with it. It's like the technical side of sex is just like such a minor part of things these days. So yes, I agree with you, Cass. Like kids with older brothers and sisters are armed with a lot of information and some of that comes with a lot of slang. And I think we have to be really open-hearted as parents and realise that we have to wade through that as well.
You know what's funny? I'm thinking back to when we went to school, 80s, 90s. It very much was one conversation, if you were lucky. I never had a conversation. Yeah. My school never talked about it. But for some people, you got the one convo. And that was like, have you had the birds and the bee chat? And it's so funny to look back and then go, it never was a chat. It always has to be a series of chats and also ongoing for forever almost. And I love that because You're right. It's exactly like the operating system on our phones. It gets updated. It's just our kids they're just updating and they need new info downloaded. And I've never thought of it framed like that. That is quite brilliant. Also, Michelle, do you think sometimes we go, oh, are our kids ready? But as parents, it's really like, are we ready? And how do we have those conversations? And how do we make it not awkward when we were raised to make it a little bit awkward?
That's right. And that is exactly the situation that a lot of parents find them in. We're looking at our kids too, and they're all so unique. They have different neurotypes, they're different IQ levels, they're different, abilities, life experiences. Some kids have undergone trauma as well. So we know the child that's in front of us. 3 things I want parents to remember. Safety, joy, and choice. Try and approach every conversation through those 3 lenses. And for parents who do feel a little bit awkward because they haven't had it modeled well for them, get themselves a resource, but say to kids, this is an extension of me by saying something like this. I've read this book. I actually think it's pretty good. Page 100 and such was really funny. You might like this.
Yeah.
And if they're a bit uncomfortable receiving it, put it in a pile of 5 books and just shove it in their room, And
yeah, and they will open it. I've read this book with my daughter, and it's so fun. It's so accessible. It's so joyous. It talks about so many things in the most body positive, fun way. And my daughter and I had so much fun reading it together. And she had great questions on the back of the book, which I know you're super passionate about. If people want more info about you, Michelle, or your books, where can they go?
It's just michellemitchell.org, so pretty simple.
Fantastic. You'll be joining us tomorrow. We're going to talk about the second book, which is A Girl's Guide to Puberty. So if you've got a tween girl, tomorrow is your day. We'll chat to you tomorrow, Michelle.
Sounds great. Thanks so much.